Talk about paying for the privilege. Get a load of this. In part one of our series on mutual fund costs, we talked about the expense ratio, which tells you how much of your mutual fund investment is kept by the fund company. But funds that are sold by brokers may carry an additional cost. It's called a sales charge, commonly referred to as a load. It's actually a commission. It's how the broker gets paid. Now, you should know that there are load funds and there are no-load funds. A lot of people own load funds and aren't even aware of it because brokers aren't required to disclose the load to the client. So let's get you informed. Let's look at a real-life mutual fund. The name of the fund isn't important. Just know that this is a real example and it's fairly typical. Now keep in mind, each of the four versions we're about to look at is the exact same fund. All are managed by the same guy, all hold the exact same investments in the exact same proportions. The only difference is in the class of shares. Class A, Class B, Class C, or Class I. Threw you off there, didn't I? With A shares, you pay a front-end load of 5.75%. That means that if you invest $10,000, $575 comes right off the top and goes to the brokerage firm. The expense ratio is an additional 1.11% per year, and some of that goes to the brokerage firm too. Total first-year cost of a hypothetical $10,000 investment, $686. If your investment neither grows nor shrinks over the next 5 years, remember this is all hypothetical, your cost over 5 years would come to $1,130. Now, B shares carry a back-end load. Nothing comes off the top, but if you cash out in the first 5 years, you get hit with an early withdrawal penalty. The fund company still pays the brokerage firm their commission, so in order to pay itself back for the commission, the company jacks up the expense ratio to 1.95% for the first 5 years. Total 5-year cost, $975, then $111 a year after that. C shares have what's known as a level load. They take out 1% every year as long as you own the fund, which explains why the expense ratio is so high at 1.89%. The total 5-year cost is actually lower than with A or B shares, but the expense ratio stays high forever, so over the long term, C shares are the most expensive option. The institutional share class, the I shares, are much less expensive. There are no loads of any kind, and the expense ratio is only 0.65% per year, but there is a catch. There's a minimum initial investment of $5 million, so if you don't have that, you're out of luck. Now, just for comparison purposes, here's another real-life mutual fund. But this one's a no-load fund. No front, back, or level loads of any kind, and the expense ratio is just 0.3%. The minimum initial investment is $3,000. So why would you ever invest in a load fund when there are plenty of no-load funds to choose from? Well, if you don't have much to invest and you want help from a broker, a load fund might make sense. A firm like mine is more likely to use no-load funds, which is good, but it's also likely to have a minimum investment requirement. So if you don't meet the minimum, buying a load fund through a broker might be appropriate. Just make sure you know what you're getting into. Well, that's it for now. If you or someone you know needs financial planning or investment advice, please drop me an email or give us a call here at Millard Company. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.